each of the state governors has received 20 trucks of rice for onward distribution to the most vulnerable. This is a first step, and the federal government will continue to support all the state governors, the local government, all the subnationals, so that the hardship being experienced by most Nigerians in terms of shortage of food supply is bridged. Government will continue to do whatever it takes to ensure that Nigerians have enough food to eat. Of course, you also know some of the interventions that the federal government has done in the agricultural sector, boosting our own capacity to produce food, not just for our domestic consumption, but also possibly for export. And government will continue to do that. We know that this will not solve the problem entirely, but this is a necessary first step that it has taken, and government will continue to do that. And you can see the speed with which the federal government has ensured that this is done. Now, what we want to say is the federal government also wants to appeal to the subnationals to ensure effective distribution of these food items so that those that are most vulnerable have access to this commodity.
First of all, I want to appreciate Bola Ahmed Tinubu for stating the obvious fact. And the fact is that his government has caused so much pains to Nigerians. His government has made Nigerians to go hungry. His government has led to the shortage of food in Nigeria. I want to appreciate Bola Ahmed Tinubu for being sincere to admit that his government has failed Nigerians. In other words, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is admitting that he's a failure. Then what he's trying to do is to, remedy whatever he has done. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is trying to correct the mistake he has done. Kudos to him, congratulations to him. Now look at it critically. Is he really correcting the mistake? Absolutely no. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is still doing the wrong thing that led to where we are today. There is hunger in the land. People are suffering. The price of food has skyrocketed. Nigeria is the only place where people know the problem to a solution, but they will not rather solve it. They will rather be cutting corners. They will rather be going round the circle, wasting money on things they could have done properly. Now I want to ask a very important question. How does sending 20 trucks of rice to each state, how will it solve the problem of hunger in the land? 20 trucks of rice. Is it only rice that the people eat? We know that rice is expensive. There are other commodities in the market that are expensive. You have beans, you have gari, you have tomatoes, you have other items in the market that are expensive. Is it only rice that the people need? How will this solve the hunger in the land? How we sending 20 trucks of rice to each state reduce the price of gari, reduce the price of tomatoes, reduce the price of beans, reduce the price of pure water, reduce the price of other commodities in the market that Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration has increased the price dramatically? How will that stop it? This is more like a palliative. And this is not the first time the federal government is doing something like this. In 2020, during the lockdown period, the COVID-19 period, you saw how palliative was shared. I want to ask you a question. How many of you received that palliative? You saw how palliative were stored in warehouse, that people had to break into those warehouses to steal and loot palliative. You saw how they even looted the house of the Oni of Ife. Palliative that were meant to be given to the people were being stored to be used during the election. Okay, let's admit that was done under President Muhammadu Buhari, a clueless president. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a president, and he has admitted that there is suffering, there is hardship in the land. He has admitted that his government has caused untold hardship on Nigerians, and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has rolled out some palliative to Nigerians. You have the cash conditional transfer that was meant to be given to the people. You saw how the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Betta Edu, was fingered for alleged fraud 4 billion naira fraud till date. Nobody has said anything about that. Why? Because money was given to a human being, a Nigerian, to transfer to people. How many of you has received that conditional cash transfer? How many of you has become beneficiaries to all these palliative that Bola Tinubu is giving out? How many? I've not seen any. And I have not even seen where any of these things are being shared. But yet, the president keep doing the same thing and you expect a different result. Let me burst your bubble. The reason why they are sharing this rice is because they know that there is hunger in the land. A hungry man is an angry man, and that hungry man wants to protest. So the reason why they are sharing this rice is to shut the mouth of the people. Eat rice, get your stomach filled so that you will not go and protest. The reason why the people wants to protest is not just because of hunger. They are protesting for insecurity. They are protesting for employment. They are protesting for the out of school children. They are protesting for inflation. They want all these things to be addressed. But the president wants to give them food so that they will eat, get their stomach filled, so they will not clamor for any of these things. That is the main reason why they want to share this rice. And to those of you that will eat this rice and you don't come out to protest, they are buying your future. They are buying your mouth. They are buying your power to demand for good governance. These people, they are not willing to solve the issue in Nigeria. Because if they really want to solve the issue in Nigeria, they will have to go to the root cause. What is the root cause for this food crisis in this country? Insecurity. Farmers can no longer go to the farm. The people in the north can no longer go to the farm because of insecurity. Terrorists have taken over farmland in the north. The people that manage to go to their farms, they have to pay levies to terrorists. Solve the insecurity in the north. Stop this Fulani herdsmen crisis that is besieging every part of the country. These people are destroying farmlands. They've destroyed farmlands in North Central. North Central is said to be the food basket of the nation. Thousands of farmers have been killed by terrorists masquerading as Fulani herdsmen in the North Central. Solve this issue and you will drastically have our food production increase. Rather than using 90 billion to subsidize Hajj, rather than using 21 billion to build the residence of the vice president, rather than using $150 million to buy a presidential jet, use that money and subsidize farming. Give it to farmers. Buy seedlings, buy fertilizers, buy farming equipment. Give it to farmers. These are the people that feed the nation. Give it to them and see if our food production will not increase. Are you trying to tell me that the government, they are not aware of all these things? But no, they will not do it. They will rather give you food to eat. How long will this bag of rice last the people? How many cups will each vulnerable persons get from this bag of rice? They say from the vulnerable. 90% of Nigerians are currently vulnerable. That is a fact. 90% of Nigerians are hungry. Forget those that are shouting on social media. These people cannot afford 1 square meal a day. So how many cup of rice will they get from these trucks of rice that are being sent to state? How long will it last them? For how long will the federal government keep sending bag of rice to people? Are we living in refugee camps? Are we fighting wars? Why can't we feed ourselves? Why can't we do the right thing? This gesture from Bola Tinubu is an insult to Nigerians. And Nigerians should rise up and put an end to this. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.